G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Wildkard Rugby Show. Like, comment and subscribe. And yes, you are here today because Joe Schmidt has just announced his first inaugural Wallabies team that will be playing Wales this weekend in Sydney. And yeah, it's a really interesting selection for the Wallabies. As we've already talked about, Joe Schmidt has limited himself from only selecting players domestically playing in Australia just to try to actually build towards the future, unlike Eddie Jones. Just talk shit and start getting players. Will Skelton, the best player, in Europe, get them over to try to fill in this ranks. And with that limitation on his selections, I think he's actually put on a pretty solid team, especially considering that the Welsh is also suffering a lot of injuries, a lot of players missing, and Warren Gatlin has put up a pretty weak team, to be fair. The Welsh domestic club teams performing in the URC are also on the low end of all the rankings. The best team in the URC is from Cardiff. The Ospreys is the only team that is 8th in the top 8 in the URC, and all the other teams, the other 3 teams, are filling out at the bottom of the table. So the Welsh overall performance is not that great. In addition, Wales having big injuries to their core players. Adam Beard, Jock Morgan, the captain, both actually former captains, Thomas Williams and Cameron Winnett are all injured and not available for this game. In addition, Ryan Elias, Josh Adams, Alex Mann, Will Rowlands, and to some extent, Yuan Lloyd have all been left at home because Warren Gatlin wants them a break. So, I don't know what that's about. I mean, it's not like these players are actually, being the top of the world. Like, these guys are not even world-class players. They're performing players. And they really need the game time too, to be honest. But hey, Warren Gatlin thinks that these guys have to earn themselves a break. Left them at home. And it is what it is. It is what it is. He's taking a page from Eddie Jones. And we'll see how this goes. And actually, he's taking a page from Fabian Galtier by leaving his best players at home. It is what it is. And what's also interesting is that Gareth Davies, probably one of the better players in terms of the number 9 position, has been left on the bench. Not on the bench, but left out of the starting 23. He is in the squad. And obviously with a lot of the senior players retiring, George North, Dan Bigger and all those players not available, that really top rung of, Welsh legends almost has just been all scraped out of the ranks after the 2023 Rugby World Cup. And yeah, looking really light here for the Welsh team. Really poor in terms of performance overall in the club rugby. So Wallabies not that much better, but I think Wallabies should be a little bit better based on just the fact that we don't have as many injuries and all of our key players are being selected at least in the squad and is performing tonight. Performing the weekend. So yes, let's have a look at the weather this weekend in Sydney. It's going to be raining in the next couple of days, so it might be a bit wet, the conditions, but overall it probably wouldn't be raining. And finally, the referee is going to be Matthew Renaud Jr., Pierre Brosset. I think I may have seen him in one of the top 14 referees, or maybe the European Champions Cup. Can't really tell you much about this guy, to be honest. He's French. Other than that, he's related to Matthew Renaud, so he's probably gonna make some controversial decisions. But it is what it is. I don't know. Anything can happen. It's rugby. It's a referee. But anyway, let's talk about the squad. Let's talk about the lineups. So there were a couple of interesting selections from Joe Schmidt's lineup this weekend. First up, we can look at right here. So James Slipper, Matt Fazzler, and Tanela Tupou are the starting 3. This is already a bit interesting because I thought for sure Alex Hodgman was going to play at number 1 over James Slipper. But no, Joe Schmidt has decided to back on the veteran. I think this might be his 100 I think there's a milestone coming up for him, like 140 or 150 test matches. But he has been injured for quite a bit in the last tail end of the Super Rugby. And to be honest, when he was not injured, he wasn't really performing to my likings. I really didn't think that it was up to the level that he was at last year or maybe a couple years ago. But yeah, interestingly, Joe Schmidt has backed him in the number 1 jersey. Number 2, Matt Fazler has been really good for the Reds, and Talanoa Tupou, another guy I also think that performing a lot better for the Rebels coming off the bench, and I just think that maybe Joe Schmidt should have left him on the bench. He is one of the best players in terms of carrying the ball and scrummaging, but he always has that calf issues, so you never know when his calf's going to cramp up, and he's just going to end up, he could be like 10 minutes into the first half, and you're going to have to take him off, and suddenly you have a reserve prop playing for the full 70 minutes. Is that really the risk that you want to do? And also, the fact that he comes off the bench playing against tired players, he actually, you get even more value out of his power and his strength. So, whilst I agree that Tupou is the number one tight head right now, but I don't think he's actually best suited to the starting 3 jersey. Let me know your thoughts here. And then for the Welsh side, Gareth Thomas, Lewis Lake, 2 of the Ospreys guys, I think they're playing. So 2 of the guys from the top teams. And then you got Lewis Lake and Archie Griffin is filling in as a relatively, I think he's debuting actually, because there was an injury to Kieran Asirati. So yeah, just more younger players coming in filling the ranks. But I think James Slipper might not actually be that much of an issue for him, because like I said, James Slipper hasn't really been performing. Now coming in at the lock position now, interesting selections by Joe Schmidt. Jeremy Williams and Lucan Salakai Loto has finally returned for the Wallabies after, a couple of years off, a few years off at this point, playing overseas. And he has a pretty stellar performance for the Rebels, really good defense. And I'm actually surprised that Nick Frost is not selected here, but hey, Joe Schmidt wants to try out something for the future, wants to try different combinations, and he's definitely doing that right here. Jeremy Williams had a really great season for the Western Force, and yeah, it's really good to see that he's finally going to get a shot here for the Wallabies. But then again, I do think that Nick Frost is probably better for number 4 jersey. But yeah, for the Welsh, we got Chris Tuinsuna and David Jenkins. Pretty sure Chris Tuinsuna plays for the Chiefs in England. A lot of these players plays in England, and Daffy Jenkins, I think he's a captain as well, are both, decent, very talented players, but I think both Chris lack a little bit of international experience there. Obviously, they left. Adam Beard is obviously injured, so they're not able to use him for a more experienced option here. But hey, it would be good to see how this is going to match up. In the loose forwards now, we've got Liam Wright, Fraser McRoy, and Rob Valentini for the Wallabies. Really, really good option. Liam Wright, I've been waiting for him to put on that number 6 jersey for the Wallabies for a while. Fraser McRoy has shown that he's by far the best number 7 out of all Super Rugby in Australia. He's been really on fire. And Rob Valentini playing a bit of number 6 for the putting a bit of 6 for the Brumbies, but he's moved to the 8 for this game. And again, he's always been great, always been a good ball carrier. And yeah, it'll be a good battle between the loose forwards. For the Welsh, they got Tian Plumtree, who is the son of Joe Plumtree, the coach, the former All Blacks assistant coach and current Sharks coach. Tommy Raphael comes in number 7, and Aaron Wainwright, who is the most dangerous forward for the Welsh team, coming in number 8. Number 9, another really interesting selection for the Wallabies. Jay Gordon ahead of Tate McDermott. Noah Lolosio comes in number 10. The 9-10 combination is interesting to see. Maybe Joe Schmidt wants someone more experienced, more like a senior person out of the 9. But yeah, interesting selection here. Ellis Bevan and Ben Thomas are both quite new, and I think they both play in the same team. As well as a combination for Wales. Which team do they play for? Just give me 1 second. Cardiff. They both play for Cardiff in the same club. So that's maybe a combination they're trying to work out. Like, Cardiff isn't in the top 8 at all in the URC. So yeah, maybe Galen wants to see how this combination is going to work with his game plan. But again, I don't see how this is going to be an issue for the Wallabies. Coming in number 11, Filippo Dalgunu, who's been really, really good for the Melbourne Rebels, playing an outside centre position. So maybe there'll be a bit of shuffling around, after players coming off the bench. But yeah, really interested to see that he's back in the fold, and in the number 11 jersey, his defensive efforts has really improved a lot since playing centre. So that is a massive, massive bonus and a big nod from Joe Schmidt to give him this opportunity in the 11 jersey. Real Dyer has been the best winger for the Wales the last, 12 months in the Six Nations. He's the one that really breaks up a lot of the opportunities for the Welsh, and he's most dangerous guy in the Welsh team this weekend. Hunter Paisami at 12, Josh Fluke at 13. Reds combination has worked really well this season in Super Rugby, and can't wait to see. Hunter Paisami has been really, really good offensively, but I do think that his defense might need a little bit of work to improve there. Mason Greeley has been off the bench quite a bit for the Welsh in the Six Nations. He's coming off, finally starting at number 12. Owen Watkins, more of a senior member now, filling in the outside center role. So Mason Greeley will have this will be a good opportunity for him to try to work himself into a 12 jersey. Number 14, Andrew Callaway, as I has suspected, he will be getting the 14 jersey, not the 15 jersey, because just Tom Wright has been so damn good this year. And Andrew Callaway has been really good for the Rebels as well. One issue with him is his tackling might be a little bit of an issue there, so we'll have to see if that's going to be improved for Test Rugby. Josh Hathaway coming in number 14, and Liam Williams, the veteran, comes in at number 15. He's probably going to be a second playmaker. Shoot, the number 9 and 10 don't work out the way Warren Gatland like to go, so Liam Williams probably will be assisting the Nine-Cone combination a lot in terms of their decision making when it comes to their attacks. Speaking of attacks, let me talk about Tom Wright first. So Tom Wright has been absolutely amazing for the Brumbies. He has really grown as a person. He no longer runs around like he's like a dickhead, and he just really has cut out all of the shenanigans that he does on the field as well. And he's just really taken a huge step forward as a player. Really, really just good with the ball, really good at footwork, creating space for his teammates, and just overall, incredible performance. I think Tom Wright will probably be my bet to probably score the first try for the Wallaby. That's just how good he is. And the interesting thing here is that the style of rugby that Warren Gatland has been trying to get. Oh, look at that beautiful smile. Man, he's good looking. Anyway, Warren Gatland has been playing a style with the Welsh team that is very similar to the All Black offload game, where they will target the 9-10 channel and the short side from the rucks with just quick offloads, and try to just like flood the gang line with a bunch of covered options, and try to get a little offload between each other to make the break. Something like a style that the All Blacks like to play. This has been really good for the Welsh team in the early 2 rounds in the Six Nations. In fact, they almost put up a couple of upsets in the first couple of games, and then they just kind of fell off. Maybe some of the key players were injured, but that style just really didn't just completely go out the window in the later part of the Six Nations. So it will be interesting to see if the Welsh are going to try that again against the Wallabies. But that is one of the areas the Warren Gatland has definitely been targeting a little bit to improve for the Welsh team, and that is the offload game around the rucks. And yes, let's go to the bench now. Billy Pollard coming number 16, Isaac Kalia, the Melbourne Rebels. Lucev prop. Again, no Alex Hodgman comes in number 17. Alan Alatoa comes in number 18. I think he should be starting. He's been so good for the Brumbies as well, coming out of injury. Another interesting thing here is that Len Ikitau is not selected for number 13. So maybe this is actually, I think Len Ikitau is by far the best outside center for the Wallabies. And this is actually Joe Schmidt trying out some new combinations. Evan Lloyd comes in number 16 for Wales. Kemsley Matthias 17, Harry O'Connor coming number 18, Angus Blythe finally getting a shot for the Wallabies coming at 19, Charlie Kale also getting a shot at number 20, Corey Hill, a bit of a veteran now, returning for Wales at 19, James Botham comes in number 20 for Welsh, Tate McDermott number 21, Tom Liner also going to get a shot number 22, again, no Ben Donaldson, no Nick White, really interesting selections there by Joe Schmidt. Is he actually just trying out new combinations, giving new players an opportunity? Or is he actually thinking that Nick White and Ben Donaldson are no longer his top picks? Don't know, but I will have to see what happens when the Rugby Championship rolls around. Kieran Hardy at number 21, Sam Costello number 22, Nick Tompkins 23. 3 very experienced players for the Welsh. Nick Tompkins has been one of the best performers, highest work rate performers for the Welsh team for a very long time now. Sam Costello has been a guy that Warren Gatland has backed a little bit at Six Nations in recent times to kind of like taking over the number 10 jersey as on the bench, and Kieran Hardy as well has been really good for the Welsh in the starting position, also not getting that nod. So yeah, interesting to see how this goes. Did I mention Dylan Pish at number 23? So I'm thinking Dylan Pish will go up for Filippo Dangunu, and Dangunu will go to center at some point. We'll go to outside center at the 13 jersey. I think that is the plan for Joe Schmidt with that. So yeah, let me just quickly see if I missed any of my notes that I don't want to... If I missed anybody. Yeah, also Darby Lancaster is in the squad and is not going to get a chance to go here. The beekeeper is not going to be collecting tonight. So yeah, that is the setup. So in my predictions, I think the Wallabies should be able to win this one, considering that Warren Gatland's building towards the future. I think this is going to be like a maybe, I don't know, I don't think the score's going to be too high. I think maybe like a 25 points to 15 to the Wallabies. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys a bit later. Cheers.